Hello and welcome to our video for SAM 2013 projects, Excel 2. Let's pull up a web browser and let's navigate to the SAM website on our web browser. Log in with our student ID. And that takes us to the SAM site, which starts off in the calendar view. Switch to the activity list view and uncheck everything except projects, and you should see a list of all the projects that still have not passed their current due date. We are looking at the Excel 2 project, and it tells us we have 5 attempts. Hopefully we won't need all 5 attempts, but we have those if we need them. And we get our 1, 2, 3 list here. 1, the instructions that we're to follow. 2, the start file that we are to save and edit and revise as we go through the project. And 3, upload when we're done. So let's get the instructions first. I'll click on the instructions and open those up. That pulls up this Word document. The Enable Editing button, I'm going to click that, and it makes the ribbon go away. It makes the ribbon appear, and I see my document in regular Word form here. We are again working with the Flex Cab Company project, the taxi service in Ontario, in Toronto, Ontario. And we are going to download our start file, which is step 2 on our list. So I open up the start file. When I open up this start file, enable editing. When I open up the start file, I will see a couple of things here that I want to look for, specifically my name in the start file. This says big red. In place of big red, it should be your name. Also on the documentation tab in cell B6 should be your name where you see big red. We want to do a save as. Go under File, Save As to this computer. I'd put mine on the desktop. And I'm going to save it with an _2. I'm also going to make sure that I get rid of the copy of at the beginning so that the name is simply SC Excel C4P1A _2. Okay. So now I have this file on with the _2, the correct name. And if I go back to the Word document, I can see that that's what it's looking for. First, last name being yours, _1, saved as _2. And I do have my name in cell B6, so we're ready to complete the project, or get started on it at the very least. Unhide the loan scenarios worksheet. So going back to Excel, we see that there are to show the hidden sheet, you can see the tabs. We currently have documentation, capital plan, and saving scenario. There's only 3 tabs that are visible. But if I go to the home 3 worksheets that are visible, if I go to the ribbon and the home tab of the ribbon, you can go in the format area in the cells group and come down to hide and unhide for visibility. And underneath that, you can say unhide sheet. So if there are any hidden sheets, it'll pop up here, and it turns out there is an unhidden sheet, the loan scenarios. So I say OK, and now we have a 4th tab, a worksheet tab across the bottom. So we have done our first step, unhide the loan scenarios worksheet. Step 2, in the loan scenarios worksheet, fill the range B15 to B27 with a number series based on the values in B12 to B14. So we're going to extend B12, 14 down through 27. So 12 and 14 are what we're extending. So we're taking these range here, 15 down to 27. And all we have to do is use the fill handle to come down and do these values. Anytime there's a selected range, the way I did that, I just had the 3 cells selected. And in the lower right-hand corner, there is what's called the fill handle. And it is a context-sensitive action. So it knows, for example, this is 3, 3.25, 3.50, that it's adding 0.25%. So it just continues that pattern all the way down. Step 3. Enter a formula in cell B12 using the PMT, which is an abbreviation for the payment function, to calculate the monthly payment on a loan given the loan parameters in D4, D6, and C12. And there's a hint here that says we use a negative sign in front of the payment function to display the payments as a positive number. Use absolute cell references for the term and the loan amount arguments. Absolute references have dollar signs around the rows and columns, and that way when you do a drag and drop of fill handle copy, the cells will stay fixed with what we're looking at. And we're going to, after we use the absolute references, we're going to copy the formula. 2 of the 3 arguments are going to stay fixed because of the absolute references, and 1 of them is going to move. Okay, so let's play this out. Cell D12, use the payment function. So let's go to cell D12, and here it is, and we want to do the payment function. So we say equals PMT. Now I'm not doing the negative value just yet. I'll do that in just a second. But the payment function requires 3 arguments: a rate, a number of payments, and then the present value that we're looking for. You see on this little pop-up window, it also has a 4th and 5th argument, but those arguments have square brackets around them, which indicates those are optional arguments, and in most cases you can leave them off and the default value will work. But in some advanced functions, some advanced use of this payment function, you might want to change those 4th and 5th arguments. So what is the rate of this loan? And again, looking at what we're talking about here, we're talking about making a loan at a 3% rate, which is a 0.25 as the monthly rate if we're making monthly payments. And we want to look at, go back to our argument here, D4, D6, and C12. So D4 is the amount of our loan. D6 is the number of payments, 60 monthly payments, which is 5 years. And I believe it was C12. C12, yes, is the monthly rate. So it's a 3% annual rate divided by 12 to get the monthly rate. So let's do these things here. So the rate is this is the rate, comma. The number of payments is the 60, and the present value of the loan, the amount we're getting in our pocket immediately that will pay back over time, is $500,000. And I'm going to leave off the 4th and 5th arguments. So then I get this value of a negative result for my payment. Now the reason this is a negative result is because the loan and the payback balance themselves out over time. And the loan is a positive number, so the payback is in negatives. And if you add up all these payments over 60 months, it will end up balancing out to 0. You'll pay off the loan. But in this case, we don't like having this as a negative. We understand that I'm not writing a check for a negative value, I'm doing it for positive value. So what you can do is you can put a minus sign in front of the payment function, and that will give you a positive value for the display of the monthly payment. Now, we want to use absolute references for 2 of the 3 arguments, and then we want to copy the formula. So before we copy the formula, we want to use absolute references. Of our references, the ones that don't change, as I copy the formula down, I want to see what it is at 3.5% and 3.5% and so on, how those rates will go down. The things that don't change are this 500,000 and the 60,000. So those arguments, the D4 and the D6 arguments, those arguments become absolute value references. So I put a $sign in front of the column and the row. So $D, $6, and then $D, $4. And I have absolute references. Now the value didn't change, but what makes a difference now is as I copy the formula, I'm just going to copy one cell. I want you to see what happens in this one cell. The D6 and the D4 are still talking about the 500,000 60-month loan. That's good. But the cell that did not have the absolute reference, the reference moved with the formula. So as I moved this formula down one cell, so did this payment, the C12 became a C13. And I can do this for all of my references. I can go all the way down through the whole table. And in each of those cases, I pick any one of these, the D6, D4 stay the same, which is talking about the 500,000 60 months. But the non-absolute reference, a relative reference, moves as I do the copy. Okay? So then again, that's a lot of work to do this by hand that Excel just did for us very quickly and very powerfully, figuring out monthly payments on a $500,000 loan over 5 years. And that's a pretty big loan, obviously, $500,000 over that course of time. Okay, enter a formula in cell E12 using the payment function to calculate the monthly payments on a loan given the parameters in E4, E6, and C12. And again, use a negative sign in front of the payment to make it positive. Use absolute cell references and then copy it down to the E column. So we're doing the same thing in column E here, where we're using the E4 and the E6 values. So let's do that again. Equals, I'm going to go ahead and say minus payment, PMT, doing the minus in advance because I know I need that. The rate is still monthly. The number of payments are 60 months, and the present value is the amount of the loan, $400,000. So this is what the loan would be if you borrowed $400,000 for 5 years versus borrowing $500,000 for 5 years. You're going to pay almost $2,000, $1,800 a month every month for 5 years to get that extra $100,000 up front. Make some of these absolute references. Make the E6 reference absolute. Make the E4 reference absolute by putting dollar signs in front of the rows and columns. And then I can copy all the way down, and I get all those tables calculated. Number 5, do the same thing in cell F12 for the columns F4 and F6 ranges. I'll do this one more time. Equals minus payment, the rate, the N per, the number of payments, 60 monthly payments, the present value, $300,000. Make some absolutes in here, putting dollar signs in, and then copy the formula. Use the fill handle, copy down to the values. Step 6, center the contents of B11, F11. So B11 is here, F11 is here, so I'm selecting that entire range and I'm going to center the contents. So in the Home tab, in the Alignment group, right here is the center option, and now the labels inside of each one of those cells is centered. It's hard to tell in B because the width of B is about the same as the width of the label, but especially in these larger cells, D, E, and F columns, you can tell that the text is in fact centered. Apply bold formatting to the text in D3, F3. Let's go to D3, F3, there's that range, and apply bold, which again is in the Home tab in the font group. So now aggressive, moderate, and conservative all have bold formatting. Step 8. Add the following borders to the ranges specified below. So we're going to select the range B10, F27 and do an outside border, and then another range for bottom, another range for left. So let's do the first one. Outside border on B11, F27. B10, F27. B10, F27 gives us this range here. Okay? You'll see that I have, you can see that B10 is the upper left-hand corner and F27, and I want to do the double check here, the outside border to this range. So where do borders come from? Well, borders are inside of our Home font group. Here we have the border option. Now, the most common thing is to do a bottom border, but I want to do more choices, so I'm clicking on this arrow to the right. So don't click on the bottom border, click on the arrow to the right, and you'll get a list of all your options. And we see the outside borders. So now that whole range, and I click off it, we can see the BF 1027, that whole range now has an outside border. Bottom border on B11, F11, B11, F11. Here we want to do a bottom border. Again, I'll get the drop down and I'll do bottom border. And left border on D12, D27. So D12, D12 to D27, I will do a left border. Drop down list, left border option. And now that's what my table is looking like. Format the range D12 to F27 to be center aligned. Then modify the number format of this range to display 0 decimal places, no decimal places. Okay? So D12, F27 center aligned, D12, F27 center aligned. Okay, so that's center aligned, and it's in the Alignment group in the Home tab, and the 0 decimal places. Now the 0 decimal places have a couple ways of doing this. In the Home tab number group, you have these options here of increasing and decreasing the number of decimal places. There's a button there, and the left one is the increase and the right one is the decrease. So just to show you this, you can see that I'm actually getting more and more decimal places and fewer decimal places. So I'll go down to 0 decimal places. Now another way that I could have done that is I could have clicked on the little pop-up window in the bottom right-hand corner and got this edit dialog, and I could have specifically changed the number of decimal places this way also and set it to 0. Those have the same effect. I know it's correct because I see that my values here have no decimal places when I view them. So I know that I have, either way it'll work correctly, get the same effect. Step 10. Create a conditional formatting rule to highlight the cells in the range C12 to C27 whose value is equal to cell D8, and then apply a default formatting, or for the highlighting, use the default formatting of light red fill with dark red text. So we'll see light red fill with dark red text as the default option here for our highlight conditional formatting. The range is C12, C27, values equal to D8. So let's do this. So let's find the range C12 to C27, and we're going to select the conditional formatting. Under the Home tab, we can go into the Styles group and select conditional formatting here. So I'm going to select the range, C12 to C27, and I want to apply conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is under the Home tab. In the Styles group, we have conditional formatting. And we have a list of different options. We can highlight specific cells, we can create top 10%, bottom 10% rules, and so many other things. So this is actually a neat little feature. We're going to just look at one of these right now where we set a cell that is equal to. Now, when we set our cell equal to, we have a list of choices. I can give it a specific value, or I can say it's equal to a specific cell's contents. To say it's a cell's contents, if I click on this little arrow here to the right, it lets me browse to the cell that I want, 42%. Okay. So I've got the cell there, D8, which you can see on the screen. D8 is a 42%, and you'll notice that the one cell that has that same 42%, you'll notice the one cell that has a 42% monthly rate is highlighted with the light red fill and dark red text, which is the default. If you want to change it to something else, you can change these defaults to be different things. We're going to leave it as the default text, which is what the instructions tell us to do. Light red fill with dark red text, because that's the default setting. Now this highlight feature, again, is a very nice little feature that you can do many other cool things with. But for our purposes, we're just going to follow the directions and work through the project. But I hope you kind of saw the neatness of that. And there's times that you can highlight outstanding, extremely high values, extremely low values, or just anything that you want to pull out. That highlight works. Okay, step 11. Lock the cells in the range D12 to F27. So here's the range D12, F27, and we want to lock this. So in the Home tab, we can go into the alignment group here, and you won't see a lock option, but if you click on the dialog box display, it'll pull up. In this case, it's called Format Cells, even though it was inside the alignment group. It's called Format Cells, is the name of the pop-up window. And of the tabs on the far right, you'll see a Protection tab, and you can click Locked. So now all the cells in that range have locked protect on them. Now I can still edit the cells at this point because I haven't protected the document, which I'm about to do in a few minutes. Select the non-adjacent ranges, D4, F4, and D7, F7. Unlock the cells in those ranges. So D4, F4, D7, F7. D4, F4. I'm going to unlock that range, and D7, F7, D7, F7. I'm going to unlock alignment group, protection tab, unlock. Now because those cells are clicked as unlocked, once I protect the sheet, you'll still be able to make those edits. Protect the worksheet. You do not need to include a password. Going back to Excel, we want to protect our sheet. We do this by going not from the Home tab, but over to the Review tab, and there is a Protect Sheet option. We do not need a password, they told us, so we're going to leave the password blank. Now we should be in a situation where I cannot edit. If you try selecting the cells that we just remember locked, if you tried to edit those, it will not edit. But I still can edit the things that were unlocked. I could change these loan amounts from $300,000 to $200,000 if I wanted to, and it changes all the values. I will undo that $300,000. So these are unlocked and can still be edited, and these locked cells cannot be edited. So that's a nice little feature of Excel. By default, by the way, most cells are actually checked to be locked if you protect the sheet. So really, you want to unlock the cells you want to edit, and then you protect. By default, most cells are protected when they're locked. Step 14. Switch to the savings scenario worksheet and enter a formula for cell D7 using the FV, which is future value function, the FV function, to calculate the accrued savings realized from the parameters displayed D4 to D6 range. And again, we'll have to use a negative sign here because we'll get an opposite value. If we're assuming a positive value on one end, it'll be a negative value on the other end. Okay, so savings scenario worksheet, cell D7 future formula. Savings scenario worksheet, cell D7, which is right here, and we want to do a future value, FV, and it has 3 arguments. Again, the rate, the number of payments, and the amount per payment. So the rate is right here in D6, comma. The number of payments is 36 monthly payment, or 3 years, comma. And what we're saving is $7,500 a month. Now this is going to be a negative value. That's what the parentheses are for, because I'm dealing with a positive value on the saving side. So this is the withdrawal side or the in side. So I'm going to change this, and I can do it by double clicking here. I can come up to the edit window either way, put a minus sign in front of the FV so I can get a positive number. Both with our input and our output can both be positive. Okay, so hey, not bad. If you can save $7,500 a month for 3 years at a monthly interest rate of 0.21%, you would have a cool $280,000 as your accrued savings at the end of that process. Step 15, go to cell E7 and do this future value function for E4 to E6. Okay, so we go to E7, we do the future value function, put the minus sign in front this time, future value, with again the rate, comma, the number of payments, comma, and the payment amount. And step 16, go to cell F7, use the future value function to do the accrued realized savings from F4 to F6. Same thing, equals minus future value, rate, comma, and I'm actually pressing the comma on the keyboard here, 36, comma, future value. Italicize the text C7 to F7. So C7 to F7. I'm going to use the italics, which is back in the Home tab, the italics font there, and create names for the following cells as described in Table 1 on the following page. So D7, E7, F7, I want to give them defined names: aggressive savings, moderate savings, and conservative savings. So the way we do that is we select the cell, D7, and we give it a name up here in this window: aggressive savings. And now when I click on D7, I can see that it actually has that as the name of my cell. And the cool thing about naming these cells is I can use that cell name instead of the D7 reference in my formulas. I can actually talk about aggressive savings and adding or subtracting or multiplying in my formulas in the future. So it can be nice to use these naming convention. E7 is going to be moderate savings. E7 is going to be named moderate savings. And F7 is going to be named conservative savings. You might have to click in here multiple times, like do a double click to be able to get those. But I can see I've got conservative savings, I think I spelled that correctly, moderate savings, and aggressive savings, all plural with an S at the end for all three of those. Step 19, apply the 40% accent 5 style to the B10 F10 range. So B10 F10, B10 to F10, okay? And we're going to change that style to be the 40% accent 5 style. So in the home group, in the styles option, 40%, let me see it again, 40% accent 5. So in the accent 5 area, which is down here, here's our accents, accent 5, 40%, there it is. Step 20, we're close to being finished here. Step 20 says apply conditional formatting to highlight cells. We're doing conditional formatting again to highlight the cells in the range D13 to F27 for the values between 250,000 and 275,000. Apply the default formatting of the light red fill with dark red text. Okay, so highlight cells D13 F27 for the range 250 to 275. D13 F27, D13 F27, D13 F27. So in this range here, we're going to do conditional formatting, home tab, conditional formatting, and we want to highlight the cells that are between two values. So I'm going to click the between, and I'm going to just hard code the 250,000 and the 275,000. Now I could use the dollar signs and the commas, I believe. I'll leave it to light red, dark red text. But it's smart enough to understand without the dollar signs and the commas, it interprets those as values. And I can see in quick eyeball check, I can see that all three of the things that are highlighted meet that criteria. And another quick eyeball check, I don't see any other values on that list that are in the range that are not highlighted. So I think we did what we wanted to do there. Step 21, navigate to the capital plan worksheet. Using the custom cell names, enter a formula in cell C11 that adds the value of the savings cell to the value in the loan cell. So C11, capital plan, cell C11 is right down here. And we want to add, what are the two cells? The savings cell to the value in the loan cell. Now, if you look at the instructions, oops. If you look in the instructions here, it says to use the custom cell names. Now, we did 3 custom cell names up here. If I go to this sheet, our custom cell names, you remember up here, you'll notice there's also 2 more custom cells, just the loan and the savings. And just to see what's going on, if I click on the loan, notice it takes me to this cell. If I click on the savings, it takes me to this cell. So what I want to do is I want to add these together, right? Confirming my instructions are to add these. Add the values. But instead of saying cell plus cell, I'm going to say them by name. And the name of the cells are, the names of the cells are loan and savings. So I'm going to add loan plus savings. And you can see that it knows loan and savings are referring to the cells there because of the visual highlights. Okay, very good. 22, name the cells in the range C4 to C6 using the text in the column directly to the left of each cell as the cell name. Use the create names from selection command. This is a built-in command for doing this. So it's these cells, C4 to C6, and I want to name them what's on the text to the left. So amount saved monthly, interest earned annually is what I want this cell to be referred to, and term parentheses years close parentheses is what I want cell C6. Now I could do it the way we did it before, where I just typed them in here manually, but this is there's a built-in function for this, which is inside the data tab, I believe it is. Formulas tab, sorry. Inside the formulas tab, there is a defined names create from selection. If I select this formulas tab, create from selection, It says use the names from the left column. And I say okay. So now what happens is this 6,500 has the name amount saved monthly. Now notice it took the white space, the blank space out and replaced it with underscores. And interest earned annually. And term, the parentheses, it did those a little different. It used one underscore for the blank, and it took the left parenthesis out with another underscore, and it didn't put a trailing underscore. So it looks a little different there, but the text for these, term years, interest earned annually, and amount saved monthly, these cells have all been named. I can tell they've all been named because I now have more in my list of named cells, and they came from this drop-down list. Name the range B2 to C11 capital plan without a space. So B2, C11, this whole thing, I'm going to call this capital plan no space. Okay. Your workbook should look like the final figures on the following pages. Save your changes, close the document, exit Excel, and then upload. So that looks like the capital plan sheet. Looks pretty good. I can see the others as well. I have the highlight of the 42% on the loan scenarios, so that looks good. And, oops, if I come down to the saving scenarios, I see what I saw before on saving scenario. Those three highlighted. Okay, so I want to save. I want to exit Excel, and then follow my instructions here, which is, I believe, to upload it to the website. So let's do that. Let's go here. Let's browse. It's on my desktop. I want to get the correct project here, the C4 project. If you don't know what it is, it shows you right here that I'm doing the C4 P1. Submit that. Get 3 check marks, hopefully. Boom, boom, boom. Very good. Now I'm going to go look at my results. So activity list, reports, and gradebook. I'm going to go to the reports. I'm going to see my Excel2 project. I'm going to download my work here and see how we did. 100 out of 100. Very good. So we don't have to make any edits or changes. We got perfect score. If I had missed something, it would be on the list of our steps. These are the steps we just got through creating, ending with the naming the range as the capital plan. If I had missed any of these, there'd be a little red X mark there. And you can make edits to your file, go back to your file, make edits to your file, and resubmit. You get 5 attempts per project. Okay, but it looks good. Have a good day.